Hello and welcome to another episode of Print Gyan, the show where we explore the intersection of print, technology, and business strategy in today's ever evolving landscape. I'm your host, Nidhi Agrawal, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today for a conversation that's both timely and transformative. Today's episode is titled Agentic AI in Print, which is about automating workflows, enhancing personalization, and perfecting the proofreading. We are deep diving into how agentic AI, which is a form of artificial intelligence that acts proactively and autonomously, and is revolutionizing the print industry from streamlining operations to crafting hyper personalized experiences to catching errors before they go to press. AI is not just assisting us, it's actually taking the initiatives. And to help us unpack all of these, I'm incredibly excited to be joined by someone who is at the forefront of innovation in this space. Please welcome Begum Walji. Begum is a recognized thought leader in AI and digital transformation. She is passionate about empowering businesses through smart automation and possesses deep insights into how agentic AI is reshaping creativity as well as operational processes alike. So, Begum, welcome to the show. It's such
Thank you
a
so much.
pleasure
I'm
to have
excited to be
you
here.
here. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Very excited.
Okay. So, Begum, first of all, I think this podcast goes to a wider audience where I assume people would like to, first of all, know what agentic AI means. Would you like to start the conversation by addressing what agentic AI means
Sure.
to us and then to print?
Sure. Absolutely. So when we look at AI, there's a lot of different terminology. Agentic AI is the newest one that you start to hear buzzwords about. And what does it actually mean? So if you look at the word agent, and if you correlate that to real life, what's an agent? It's a little guy that runs around for you that does little things. So agentic AI, that's all it is. It is basically an AI that is going around automating tasks. But what's different with the agentic AI compared to other AIs, um, with agentic, you're able to make those decisions, or at least the AI is able to make certain types of decisions. So, for example, if the job is coming in, it's a poster size, and you have three poster machines, which poster machine can it go to, for example, depending on the ink coverage, depending on the costs, and all of those. So, these are all the things that a decision can be made on the AI protocol. And that's the little agent, the little guy that kind of figures out all of these things on paper and basically sends it to the right printer. And that's all it is. It's just the little guy automating tasks and making decisions. So
Perfect.
I hope that kind of broke it down a little bit.
Oh yeah. So who said print can't be digital? And now with AI in the mix, it's practically a
Yeah.
tech startup with a paper stock, right?
Exactly,
So
exactly. And everything in print business always begins at the end. How is it getting shipped? How is it going to be folded? How is it going to be? So when you think about MIS systems and all of that, these are all the systems that have already been put into place for many years that are making those decisions already. So is AI brand new to this world? No. Is AI brand new to print industry? No. It's been around for a long time, but now we're coding it AI. It's a name now, right? But
exactly.
there's already systems in place that have already been doing this for many, many years now.
Okay, great. So, as you have been at the forefront of bringing in automation in print workflows, especially in the pre-press and post-press stages of the print, right? Let's talk about how agentic AI plays a significant change maker in those areas. Let's start talking about how it impacts the production workflows. What are the applications area you see where agentic AI has already been implemented or can be implemented to bring in more efficiency to the overall process?
Yeah, so before we get into how agentic is changing it, maybe a good idea to understand how traditional AI,
Yeah.
which is rules-based, right? So the traditional AI will say, okay, you have a CMYK color space or you have an RGB color space, I'll convert it to CMYK. That's simple enough because it's rule-based. Now, with the advent of agentic AI, it's not just those simple things. It is receiving a job from the customer, looking at the job, and basically making predictive decisions. So, customer ABC sends business cards 8 times a day and sends postcards, twice a day. So, looking at the file and being able to recognize file size based on the file size, making a predictive call to say, this is going to be a postcard and it has to be in positioned in a certain way. And oh yeah, from this customer, they never add in a bleed or they never put trim marks in there or their color space is always wrong. So I'm going to correct for all of that stuff before I hand it off to the next assembly line, if you will. So those are the types of things as you receive jobs from the onset. Your agentic AI is going to now make decisions based on historic data from that customer or even new customers, but just based on sizes, physical sizes, based on color that's applied on the design work. If it sees a lot of ink coverage, maybe it's meant for larger quantity. You're looking for 20,000 prints. Maybe it should go on offset. You're looking for digital prints, 500. It's going on digital press. So just things like that, being able to, those are the decisions that a human made at one point. Does that mean that that human is out of work? No, because agentic AI, first of all, needs to understand all of these things. So humans need to feed that data. But what it does do is it allows that human to now focus more on business strategies as opposed to, which press can I send this to?
Yeah.
So I think those little decisions that we made every day that, took us 10 minutes, took us 5 minutes to do are now automated. And you're going to see a lot of like human jobs now focus more on strategies and businesses as opposed to just little things. That's what the AI is taking care of.
Hmm. So, I'm really excited to hear all of these because it says a lot. There was a point, I guess, few years back when we just started hearing print is dying. Who said print is dying? I mean, it's like the print industry has hit the refresh button and downloaded an AI upgrade, right? And suddenly everyone is up and running there again and looking forward to it because I think AI addresses that challenge where print industry was struggling with thinner margins, right? Innovations, hyper localization, and personalization. And uh, AI has got everything that it needed to reboot and get up to uh, the pace, right?
Yeah.
So it's exciting. And the prospects that AI and especially agentic AI brings to business like print, where everything goes through a method, right?
Yes.
And a lot of it can be automated. It looks exciting, sounds exciting, right?
Everything's
Um,
repetitive. If you really think about it, break down every file,
mhm.
everything is repetitive, everything. So a lot of the repetitive tasks is what
Mhm.
AI can help you with.
Mhm.
The smaller companies,
Mhm.
right away are afraid of AI, but you could go out and hire 5 people to do a task, which AI can do automated. So the initial investment, you do need to establish the investment upfront. You do need to work with the right types of technologies to be able to automate things. If you're just going to expect a person's brain, we only know what we know at the end of the day, right? But if you look at the technologies and connect the right types of technologies, you should be able to get automation to a great degree. And you may be doing it, you may not even know it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Exactly, Begum. So let's talk about we've spoken about how agentic AI can be brought in to the pre-press and post-press side of automation. Now let's talk about what it means to the print consumers, how it helps print consumers, the customer side of it.
Yeah. So today we see designers from all aspects of life, not necessarily having gone through design school,
Yeah.
and we get files to print from any platform, whether it's PowerPoint, Word, and my favorite one, Canva. As great as Canva is with automation and design, is that piece printable? And that's where the conversations sort of need to start from design perspective. What does it mean for the customer? Yeah, somebody sitting at home can design their entire wedding kit, and be able to send that to a printer to print it. The issues of color, the issues of bleed, the issues of trim marks, the issues of sizing, the issues of resolution, all of those come into play, and that's something a consumer does not necessarily understand. Do you need a print degree? No, you don't, because today Canva tells you you don't need a print degree to design something. But if you're going to design something this big and you're expecting a huge poster, maybe, those are the things, those are the cons from a consumer perspective, that they don't know these things, right? What is AI going to help them do is when they go to design something, they can say it's a poster, and now they have to think what size poster. So as soon as they think it, AI can help them. Posters only come in these sizes. So now you pick a size and now you can design it in a smart way so that it's going to be printable at the end.
Mhm.
Um, so just from a consumer side, does it help that way? Yes. The other aspect of AI helping a consumer is being able to price a job out. So if they have this much artwork and if there's pre-press going to be required to do whatever it needs to do, they can get that costing up front. And we've seen this with web to print tools such as yours, right? Costing is already there, so they can see if they pick a poster, it's going to be so many dollars. If it's going to be, a business card, it's going to be so many dollars. So all of those things are already there. These are the tools that have already existed. And now with AI, it's very simple. They don't need to think anymore. They can just submit the business card and they can say, I want 500 copies of it. And the questions or the predictive sites based on that customer can now kick in. This person is a photographer, they need a business card, and they need this type of a business card. So it gives them design choices. It gives them some interactivity to be able to pick what they want. They feel a part of the production. And I think that when they walk away from it, they have that satisfaction that, oh, I built my design business card, right?
Mm.
Um, I think from that perspective, they're seeing things, costing wise, they're seeing things, design assistance, they're seeing things. So a lot of the AI stuff is helping with that.
Yeah, exactly. And we have been recently working on a project which is like web to print implementation for a private label skincare manufacturer in US. So the kind of graphics they are producing is complex, and they wanted us to implement a live graphics agent for their customers so that when anybody comes in and is designing the label for, let's say, a beauty care product, and it has to follow certain criteria, as the minimum font size, particular
Right.
color that's contrasting to the background. It was very interesting to implement that live graphics agent on their website, because it could pick up if you have you have taken up a font that's too small, or if it's not readable because of a dark background, or if the image you have uploaded is not of the print quality, or if your
Yeah.
graphics is not looking as per the template that has been set. And that has made life of their customers much easier, because they are giving live inputs and they can make the live corrections and avoid costly and timely exchanges of proofreading, corrections, re-proofing, approvals, and all of that, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's actually huge right now is proofreading part of it is massive. Again, design decisions is another huge one. Because from a non-designer perspective, they can take a logo and put it up because that's all they know. It's their big logo. From a design perspective, is that really going to appear nice at
yeah.
the end of the day? So those types of decisions. And I'm laughing inside because I just ran across something yesterday where a non-designer asked me to put their logo front center on a page. It's again, you don't come from a design school, you don't have that background, and I think AI will definitely help uh, kind of, structure XY points, and this is where you can fit it in. This is how big it should be. And I think those types of decisions that a non-designer would think, oh, this is what I want. AI can make those decisions much better.
Yeah, so I guess if we are specifically talking about proofreading used to take hours and an aspirin, right? Now it's just a click and a confidence boost if you have AI and the sophisticated pre-flight systems integrated into your production process, right? Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. The last thing you need is, 500 t-shirts that come out printed with a spelling error. That's a costly mistake. So,
uh, would you like to highlight what could be, because it's new, everyone is exploring, as you know, for many, AI, and then on top of that, agentic AIs are just buzzwords. They don't know how to begin with, or where to begin with, or whom to begin with, right?
Mhm.
Would you like to share what should be the key steps in getting started? What are the challenges and considerations the printers should undertake while deciding on their journey on adopting AI and agentic AI?
Yeah, so from a printing perspective, I think everything needs to begin from the front end. Everything needs to begin from the back end, literally speaking from a production perspective. But from a business perspective, everything needs to begin from a front end. And what I mean by that is having a way of receiving those jobs. So a lot of the customers today are still receiving jobs via email, as an example. Not that the print shop doesn't have a web to print tool such as yours, but they could have multiple web to print tools. And it's just a matter of getting those orders in. And some are coming in via email, some are still coming in via USB. Some are, over the phone. I'm going to send you a PDF file. Can you do this, this, this? So I think the instructions that come with the order, that's where things have to start because that's where the ticketing piece begins. So, what I mean by ticketing is when a customer is sending a job and saying, I need 20 copies of it and I need it printed on yellow paper and I need it double side and I need that paper to be coded 300 GSM. Um, First of all, does that exist? So, with AI, they can automatically say yellow paper comes in only in this type of material. There is no coded yellow material. So it eliminates a lot of the pitfalls, which most web to print tools do today, provided they're programmed correctly. Most of them will avoid those types of pitfalls, right? But again, somebody sending this on an email, you know, it's like dog's breakfast. Anything's possible, right?
I know, I know.
So everything needs to begin from that perspective, from the ticketing perspective. And I think what happens is once the job is received, there needs to be pre-flight checks
Yeah.
that are automated pre-flight checks. Does the job have the right fonts? Does the job have the right color profile? Does the job have the right bleed, the right trim marks? Sometimes, when non-designers discover trim marks or crop marks, they get really crazy, and then you start to see, bleed marks, trim marks, margin marks, just marks because they wanted to create marks. So those types of things where, AI can actually eliminate all of those things, clean the file up, especially with the automated designer or design programs out there. Um, it cleans up all the files, and once the files have been cleaned up, it then applies fresh bleed by just mirroring the content that's there. It then applies trim marks, and all of that stuff is done automatically
Hmm.
without giving it a
Wow.
thought.
Hmm.
If the color space is wrong, it corrects it to the right color space. And once those decisions are already made, maybe the next step in production would be, I need to impose it, but I need to impose it for press A, and press B has limitations in terms of sizes. So those decisions need to be made. Agentic AI can make those decisions. Also, Agentic AI kicks in with scheduling, with real-time scheduling. So if, machine B has already gone down, machine C is up, it's able to juggle the templates and reimpose the jobs so that it's appropriate for that machine. So once the jobs are already printed, again, it puts in dynamic marks so that it can go through certain types of finishers, depending on whichever finishers you have on the floor. And once that's done, it gets put into boxes. So all of those steps that you see from the start to pre-press to actual production to finishing, everything is automated. And what do you need? A human being. Of course, you need a human being, but you also need data. You need the right technology, and you need to talk to the right people. There is tons of stuff out there, but I think the leaders of the market are already, highlighted. And the first good step would be to start talking to the market leaders, first of all,
Okay.
and trying to get into the right technology companies.
Yeah, yeah. And so um as you talk about it, do you see some growing concerns also around data privacy, security, accuracy, around implementation of AI or specifically agentic AI into the production systems?
Yeah, most definitely. And I think printers today, if they're just going to, bury their heads in the sand and try and ignore these things, it's going to come back to bite. I think security is a huge concern because as printers, what do they get? Every single thing out there, every single object that's, got something ink on it, they have to print. Do they get forms to print? Yes. Do they get any personal data to print? Yes, they do because they're printers and it needs to be on paper, so they'll print it. But what do you have to be cognizant about? So any personal data, PHI data, personal health data, PII, personal identity data, all of these things come into play, and you have to be very cognizant of the types of work that you're getting in. And one of the challenges that I've seen is from a security perspective, if you're receiving a file via email, the file contains all of that data. Now, I, as a consumer, am just uploading things. Maybe I'm not recognizing what I'm uploading. but the printer has to have a gate there, a security gate that needs to tell the printer there is PII data and we've graded out for you. If you want the stuff printed, you need to contact the person making an order to make sure that it's okay. And you need to get that in writing to protect yourself as a printer so you don't get sued. I think those
Yeah.
things, the AI systems that are coming into place, because I'm working with AI security right now, and some of these things are going to be very relevant to the printers, because the last thing you need is to be able to get a data breach if your network gets compromised. You've just got a data breach for hundreds of customers that have sent their PII data.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing, and it needs some attention.
Yeah, I think every innovation, when it comes to floor, it comes with its own baggages of concerns and challenges. And I think um, only thing is printer needs to evaluate how much and how far they want to get AI implemented into their business, but they cannot forsake the data privacy and accuracy at play, right? So it's exciting to know, Begum, that you are working in the AI security space, and I think that's an area that's going to evolve rapidly, hand in hand with how AI has evolved in the
Yeah,
recent times, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Talk to any IT professional, and that's the one thing that's going to stick out is that's not secure. Like how many organizations do we know that, certain sites are blocked and you can't get into them, or you can't, you can't do certain things on your laptop from a corporate perspective. Well, that corporate is now you, the printer. You are a corporate, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You
you're
have to
right.
be, you have to be very cognizant of what's going on out there.
Okay. So as much as I'm loving this conversation, I think we are driving towards the end where I would like to ask you if you have any advice for print businesses or the software vendors like us. What should they consider while making their investments into this AI innovations and agentic AI technology? So if you have a piece of advice to share, please go ahead and help.
So from a customer perspective, and you mentioned something earlier where you had a customer who wanted you to customize the graphical interface for them, right? I think it's very important from a customer perspective to work with their vendor to develop what they need. It is an investment in your business, right? At the end of the day. So if you're working with a vendor to do this, and same goes with the vendors, as vendors, we need to be open to what the customer needs are today and be able to build for that. And I don't think, the days of this large corporation with like 100,000 customers are gone. I think that one-on-one is there today, and we need to take full advantage of, these are my needs. This is what I got. No matter how small your situation might be, it is 5,000 other people experiencing the same thing. So you need to be able to work with your vendor and say, okay, this is where I need this, like your customer did, and you guys went out and built it. And I think that relationship is very important, is to be co-innovators, for lack of a better word.
So yeah, so thank you for that, Begum, for the advice. And I think it's more of the planning and then executing, right? Rather than the reverse. That would help, right? So go there, evaluate, get to know already available solutions, study what the market leaders are doing, then come back, study your own proposition, the timelines, the budgets that you have, the resources that you have, and then probably chalk out your journey towards adopting the automation through AI and agentic AI workflows, right? So
Absolutely. Before you go into the bigger picture of managing the business, start looking at each of the areas and where you can automate things. And I think those become important, which will then free your time up to do the bigger things. So
Yeah.
that's important.
Okay, great. So I really love this whole conversation, and I think we can do another episode talking about the individual topics that we have touched upon for, say, proofreading or workflow automation or the security, right? But
Yeah, absolutely.
I would, yeah. So I would like to thank you, Begum, here for your time and sharing the great insights with us. Thank you for being on this episode and looking forward to have such lovely conversations in the next episodes, right? Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been really amazing talking to you. I know we communicate, online a lot of the times, but this is great engaging with the audience directly. And I'm here for anything in the future. Happy to
Okay.
help.
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care.